Have you ever looked at a billionaire, really looked at them and thought, what exactly do they know that I don't? What's the actual literal difference between someone who just dreams about success and someone who builds a massive global empire? Well, welcome to our explainer. Today, we're decoding Richard Branson's mindset straight from his own reflections and turning it into a playbook you can use literally every single day. Let's dive right in, because we're not talking about abstract, boring business theory today. We are looking for highly practical steps to smash through your own personal barriers.
Think about that one unfulfilled dream you keep pushing off. You know the one. Maybe it's a major career pivot, a new business, or finally launching that personal project. You've probably come up with a dozen perfectly logical reasons why it just won't work, right? But what if the secret to a billion-dollar empire boils down to just four little words? Richard Branson's ultimate mantra is shockingly simple. Screw it, let's do it. In his experience, the biggest roadblock you'll ever face isn't a lack of cash or a lack of experience. It's simply the inability to just start. Section 1, the rule of the first step, and overcoming the impossible. Look at this striking contrast in how people behave. On the left, we've got the average person's reaction. Branson points out that for a lot of us, saying no or let me think about it is basically a Pavlovian reflex. It just happens automatically. We do it to protect ourselves, whether it's a tiny request or a massive disruptive idea. We're just overly cautious. But then on the right, we have the Dr. Yes mindset. And fun fact, that's actually the nickname Branson's own employees gave him. His absolute first instinct is to say, yes, I'll consider it, and then figure out the how later on. He genuinely believes it is so much worse to close yourself off and miss out on an opportunity than to occasionally mess up. If he doesn't know how to do something, he doesn't just say, I can't. No way. He brings in experts, he observes, he learns, and he finds a way to make it happen. This story brilliantly shows how that Dr. Yes mindset works in the real world, even when you have literally zero resources. So when Branson was just 15 years old, he started Student Magazine. He didn't have a fancy office. He ran the whole operation out of a public phone booth at his boarding school. Step 1, he identified a huge market, not just his school, but all students everywhere. Step 2, he rigorously calculated his costs, learning super early on that money coming in has to be more than money going out. But step 3 is where the absolute magic happens, finding a loophole. To get big advertisers on board without having any money for the actual phone calls, he used a clever trick with the telephone operator. He'd claim the payphone swallowed his coins and the call got cut off. The operator would connect him for free, and as a total bonus, her voice announcing, I have Mr. Branson on the line, made it sound like he had a personal secretary. He literally secured thousands of pounds in advertising before the first issue even printed. Moving on to Section 2, fun as a business strategy and beating burnout. Branson once said, I have never done business just to make money, but I have found that if I have fun, the money comes by itself. Now, the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that fun isn't just some nice, fluffy byproduct of being successful. It is a core business strategy. Branson argues that running a business at a loss causes massive stress and headaches. Well, obviously, but if your work isn't bringing you joy, you really have to ask yourself why you're doing it in the first place. Fun refreshes us. It's a literal physical and mental stimulant that prevents burnout, fuels innovation, and keeps the entire team motivated. If you're stuck in a grind you absolutely hate, he strongly urges you to take a step back and realize you always have other options. But how do you actually balance having fun with, running a massive empire? Let's break down Branson's highly pragmatic time management. Exactly 1/3 of his time is dedicated to advertising, promotion, and campaigns. Another third goes entirely to dreaming up and launching new ventures. And that final third, firefighting, crisis management, and solving urgent problems. This is incredibly concrete and super practical for you. If you're feeling totally overwhelmed, take a hard look at how you structure your own days. Are you spending 90% of your time just putting out fires and 0% on new growth? Strictly allocating your time between growth, promotion, and crisis control is a game changer you can implement right now, today. Section 3, challenge yourself and the power of calculated risk. Okay, I absolutely love this quote. If you want milk, don't sit on a stool in a field hoping the cow comes to you. Catch the cow. This is some hardcore pragmatic wisdom passed down to Branson from his mother Eve. From a very young age, she taught him to stand firmly on his own 2 feet. She wouldn't let him just sit around being passive. She constantly challenged him, demanding bold, proactive action. And the lesson for us is crystal clear. Opportunities are not just going to fall into your lap while you sit around waiting. You have to get out there, take calculated risks, and go catch your cow. Let's see how that proactive mindset translates to a massive global scale. This timeline illustrates speed as the ultimate competitive weapon. In today's ridiculously fast-paced world, the window of opportunity snapshot so quickly. When Branson decided to launch Virgin Atlantic and take on these huge, entrenched legacy airlines, people literally thought he had lost his mind. But look at this. Month 1, they develop the concept. Month 2, they build a cash flow survival plan and assemble the team. Month 3, the very first flight takes off. Just 3 grueling, euphoric months from a raw idea to a commercial flight. The takeaway? If you have a solid idea, you have to move fast. Do not let endless bureaucracy and overplanning kill your momentum.
But what if you feel, totally unequipped to move at that kind of speed? Well, here's a fascinating detail about Branson. He has dyslexia. Back in school, words were just a meaningless jumble of letters to him, and he was even beaten for failing tests. But he actually turned this perceived weakness into a massive creative advantage. Because he struggled to read long, dense reports, he learned how to delegate all those tiny details to other people. This forced him to train his memory and rely heavily on his gut intuition. Instead of getting bogged down in pages of data, he creatively extrapolates the big picture. You've got to play the hand you're dealt. Figure out how to turn your own personal obstacles into unique operational advantages.
Which brings us to Section 4, Change the World for the Better, and Gaia Capitalism. So what is Gaia Capitalism? It's a business model that combines profitability with a strict commitment to ecological sustainability and solving global problems. After a life-changing meeting with Al Gore and heavily inspired by the scientist James Lovelock, Branson fundamentally shifted his entire worldview regarding global crises like climate change. He realized that modern businesses simply cannot just be cash-generating machines anymore. They have to actively tackle global problems. Branson believes that cutting carbon emissions isn't just about saving a few bucks on your energy bill. It's the trigger for a whole new era of energy efficiency and technological renaissance. There is absolutely no shame in making money, as long as your business model is actively doing good in the world.
And why does business play such a critical role here? Well, agile thinkers and entrepreneurs actually have a massive advantage over politicians. Think about it. Politicians are tied to these really short election cycles. They come and go. But a business leader brings real stability. Through global networks, a business person can connect with anyone, anywhere, across any level of society. Businesses have the agility to quickly fund and roll out green technologies, like researching alternative aviation fuels, for instance, without waiting around for sluggish bureaucratic laws to pass. Whatever your profession, your platform, no matter its size, gives you a unique kind of power to drive real, tangible change. So we're wrapping up our explainer here, and I want to turn this directly back to you. Plato said that the beginning is the most important part of the work. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. If you just stand there staring at the entire long road ahead and all the potential pitfalls, you might literally never start. So I'm asking you, what is the very first step you will take today? Don't overthink the whole staircase. Just go catch the cow, embrace that Dr. Yes mindset, and take that one proactive step right now. Thanks so much for joining me, and I challenge you, go out there and have some fun doing it.